So today we are going to learn a little bit extra about the array command that we have learned in the last class. So we are going to create a circular array today, right? So how to do that? So we will see. So we will go proceed systematically. So uh, first of all, what we do is we set the limits of a drawing. So suppose our drawing is maybe 100 units in the y direction and maybe suppose 200 units in the x direction. So we can set the limits, all right, of the drawing before the drawing itself, so that we can get the maximum area for the drawing purpose. All right. So So what we do is that command is limits directly, limits, right? So limits. So you may see here itself in my cursor, or the command may appear here also, right? So what I will do is, so I will use this command window. So limits, limits, okay, space. So you can see limits are off. Alright, so lower left corner 0, 0 space on. Alright, so upper left corner it is already taking, the cursor is taking actually. Alright, so it is showing that. So it is showing for 420, 297. So we will not use that. So we will use 120, 90. Okay, space. Alright, then zoom. Okay, and zoom. So space. So here you can see the options here: in, out, all, center, dynamic, extent, left, previous, right, window, entity, scale. Alright, so whatever you want. So in this case, we will zoom to all. Alright, that limits that we have set. Alright, so we will zoom to that limits. So all space. Alright, so that is the limits set. So first of all, what we are going to do is we are going to make a circle, all right, and in within that circle we are going to make a array of, either we can use donuts or we can use other also, we will see. All right, so first of all, circle. So here itself, all right, so circle, circle, space. All right, so center of circle, it is telling me to specify the center of circle. Okay, so first of all, center of circle 60, 45 space. So that is the center of the circle. Okay, then either you can specify the, now here you see diameter or radius. All right, so it is selected radius by default. All right, so the last option which it shows within this particular bracket here, so that is the option which it has already selected. So if you want that, you can do that. All right, so suppose we select the radius, so radius 40 and space. All right, so that is the diameter, the radius, sorry, of the drawing. So we will make another circle inscribed within the circle, all right, where we will make the array of the the objects. All right, so like just like the previous drawing which we used, so there we use the array in the x and y direction. So here we will use the circumscribed inscribed circle. All right, So once again the circle, alright, so circle, and we will, here you see it is not selecting the center point. Okay, so set center snap on, alright, or center snap, sorry, alright, so center, so here you see center snap, CNTER, alright, so that is the center snap. So if it is not on in your case, so toggle on the center snap, toggle on the center snap, alright. So the center snap is toggled on now. So again CIR, CLE, alright, circle, and you can see, okay. So the O snap is on, alright. Yeah, so in my case, O snap was off, alright, so I have toggled it on. So here it is auto snapping, alright. So here you see this is the center. So you check. So first of all, whether your O snap F3 and auto snap F10, alright. So those are on or not, toggled on or not. If it is toggled off, you toggle them on. F3, F10, alright. So that is O snap mode, alright, and auto snap, alright. So that is the auto snap. Then you check your center snap if this is on or off, alright. So in my case it is off, it is showing here, alright. So somewhere it will show. So you check if it is not on, so you toggle on the center snap on, alright. Then circle. So circle, and here yeah, okay. So I found out the center anyway. So I will click there, alright. I'll click there. Then I have to specify the radius, alright. So in this case I will change my I will use the diameter, alright. So to do that, so what I have to do is D, alright. So diameter space, alright. So diameter of the circle it is asking me, alright. So if I press space now, what it will take is by default 80, alright. By default it is selecting 80, alright. So here what I will do, I will select 60 units, alright. So 60 units. So this is the circle. So just like circle, in AutoCAD also we have the, just like rectangle, then polygon, alright. So we have used the polygon command, we have used the rectangle command, so we have used the circle command. Also in AutoCAD, so we have the ellipse command, alright. So we will use the ellipse command. So ELLIPSE, ellipse, alright. So ellipse command we will use. So space. So here you see it is asking me arc center first end of the ellipse axis, alright. So what I will do is I will select the center of the ellipse, alright. Now you may know that ellipse generally has two foci, alright. So we have drawn that in our engineering drawing class. So when there is an ellipse, Yeah, Ivan Brahmo, you want to say something?
Oh no, sir. Sorry, my mistake.
So you have drawn the ellipse. So the ellipse has two foci. So here in AutoCAD, we can also define the ellipse using the center. Alright, the center means where the major axis and the minor axis will intersect. That is the center of the ellipse. Alright, in our case. So what we do, we specify the center C space. Alright. And we will select the end point here. Alright. So the 90-degree quadrant. So before doing that, what I will do to make it accurate, so I will draw a line, line, line. Okay, so again it is not snapping onto the this one center. It is still not. I don't know. Some problem with the AutoCAD. It is not snapping on. It is snapping onto the outer end. It is not snapping onto the. Here it is. Okay, so it is very difficult to find out where the center is. So I will draw one now. I will toggle on the ortho mode. All right. So to toggle on the ortho mode, it is F8. All right. So to draw the line perpendicular, so I will toggle on the ortho mode F8. All right. So as soon as I press the F8, you can see it is drawing either horizontally or vertically. All right. So I will draw a line in this manner. All right, and then I will extend it. I will stretch it. All right, so to the bottom here. Okay, so similarly what I will do again, line. Right, so it is, this is the center, this is the midpoint of the line, and this is the center of the circle. All right, so we will use the center. So the center we will use, and we will draw a line in this manner and maybe extend it. Okay, so that is the center of the circle defined. So again we will draw the ellipse. Alright, so ellipse. So now again we have to define the center. Alright, so I can click here also. If I click here, it will select the center. Alright, or if it does not, if it does not, then C here space. Alright, center of the ellipse. So this is the center of the ellipse. Okay, so then what I have to do, I have to pull it in this direction. Alright, so we, remember that the polar has to be on. That is, the ortho mode has to be on. All right. So in this endpoint of the axis it is asking me. Okay, so endpoint of the axis. So what I will do, I will define the endpoint which is 6. Okay, and then it will ask me other axis. What is the other axis? Rotation. All right, other axis or rotation. So rotation is obviously it is 0. It will remain whatever it is. All right, and we will define 3. All right, and this is the ellipse that it is drawn. So here if you see, if I measure the dimension here, so this is the intersection here, this is the intersection, so this is 12. So from the center, this is 6 units, okay, which we defined. So endpoint of ellipse we defined, so this is 6 units. All right, and this is from here to here it is 3. So here you see this. Anyway, if I draw a line there, then only you will be able to find. So line, if I draw a line here, and ortho mode on, all right, ortho mode is on. So I will stretch it out, all right, and I will draw the dimension from the intersection of these points. So this and this. So you can see this is 6. All right. So those are the dimensions of the ellipse that we have drawn. Okay, so we will delete this because we do not require. So delete, delete, and delete. Okay, so let these two lines remain for a while. So then what we will do is we will again use the array command. So here you can, one thing you can do is control C and control V. All right, so what thing is that you have to again copy here, then you have to rotate. All right, rotate, rotate. So you have to hold it and you have to rotate it. You have to toggle the ortho mode off, F8. All right, so you can see you can rotate it nicely now. All right, so you have to rotate it like this. So yeah, so this kind of problems will be there. All right, so you wanted to rotate it in this manner and it got rotated in that way because it snapped onto this endpoint. Okay, so control, yeah, we can again try to rotate that. Alright, so in this manner we can rotate them. But what we will do is we will use the array command, okay, as we have used in our previous example. So array we will use space. Alright, so when it comes to an array, we have this kind of entry. Okay, so what we will do is, in our previous example, what we did is we use a rectangular array. Right, we define the number of rows, we define the number of columns and the row offsets. All right, and obviously the angle of array. If suppose, so here you see if I change this to 10, so you can see the angle of the array changes. If I change it to 45, then you can see the angle of the array changes. All right, and obviously the column offset and row offset you have already learned that in the previous class itself. So today what we are going to do is we are going to use the polar array. Okay, so we are going to use the polar array and you can see it is showing like this. So first thing what we are going to do is we are going to select the center point. Alright, so center point we are going to select. So it is showing x0, y0, so it is here x0, y0. So what we are going to do, so pick center point. Alright, so what we are going to do, we are going to click on here, pick center point. So click on here and it will show where to click, fix the center point. Alright, so here what we are going to do, we are going to select this point here. Alright, this is the center point. So here you see it is the center of the circle as well as the center of the this thing also. All right. So we are going to select that. So it is selecting. Okay. Then what we are going to do is, so here you see total number of items. So what we are going to do is, we are first going to find out how many now. So one here, one here, one here, one here. Okay. So all total 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Then in between, suppose we want to add another 2 more. Alright. So 4. So 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 plus 4, we have 12. Right. So we will add 12. So you can see 12. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright. Then angle to fill in, it is 360. That is already, it is there. So if I change the angle, suppose I give 90. So let us see what happens. So it is only this portion is taken. Alright. So 360 means it is dividing the, so 360 divided by 12, it is taking the entire this thing. Okay. So then what we have to do, so you can also pick angle to fill. Alright. So if you want certain angle, alright, so here if you want to give some angle, so here also you can pick it, alright, and you can do that. So ultimately it is, so now what we have to do is, now this array is fixed. Okay, so array is fixed. So we have 12 objects. We have 12 objects distributed along the 360-degree distribution. Now we have to select the entity, all right, which we want to replicate over here. So obviously we have to select this ellipse. Okay, so what we will do, select entity. So select entity and we will select this. Okay, and then space. Okay, and then here you see the OK comes now. Okay, so OK, and you have your drawing. Now you can remove this and this. All right, so if you want, so you can change this, so by layer. All right, so by layer, if I give dashed, all right, so for your case it will be line type space. All right, and then you go to load. All right, then from there you load whatever line you want. All right, and when you load that, so suppose if I load this I load this one. Okay, long dash dotted line, so 04B1, that is, so I click OK and it will appear here. Okay, all right, so here it is showing here. All right, now you have to select the line. So now you have to select the line and you have to change it to that thing. So here it is. I have to change the scale now because the scale is, I think, way too big. So line type is okay. So line type scale, okay. So scale it is giving 1. So if I change, suppose 0.5, then let us see what happens. No, it is still not showing. Okay, so that is you have to, I mean, by trial and error you have to find out. So which, so if I give 2, no, it is not showing. So anyway, so let us use one which is showing. So here we will use dashed. This one it was showing here. All right. Okay. So here we can again change the scale here. You go to the properties. All right. So here line type scale is 2. It is given 2. So if I give 1, all right, or if I give 0.5, all right. So let us see what happens. So yeah, it looks nice. Okay. So we can do that. So I hope you followed how to use the array command to draw various I mean these things. Okay. So today we use the array in a slightly different way from the previous class that we used. And of course leader and all those things I hope you remember. So leader is basically an arrow of this sort, right? So then again you toggle the O snap, or this one, ortho mode. Alright, so once you have drawn this line, then you toggle the ortho mode. Alright, so now you see it is only going horizontal or vertical. Alright, so you go to the horizontal, alright, and space. So the line, ah, so F8, right? So this will be inclined, then again F8, so this will be horizontal, F8, horizontal, space, space. I don't know what happened. Okay. So first line of annotation here you have to write. So suppose uh, anyway. So that is how we use the array command. Okay. So yeah, you can always use the dimensionings. So radius, diameter. So this is the diameter. All right. So here we have the diameter. Then you have the radius. So this is the radius. So here you see. So the difference. All right. So again space. So this radius here. So that is, this is the radius here, right? Again dimensioning, diameter we have, right? So diameter, this is the diameter here, 60 units, all right? and obviously you can also define the units of this ellipsis. Alright, so that is how you draw an array using ellipsis. So save it. Now hatch and other things you have already learned. Alright. So today what we are going to do is, so we are going to learn about the layer command. Alright, so layer is a very important command in AutoCAD. Whenever you are going to draw, suppose you are going to make a drawing for a plan, architectural plan. Alright, so in that case, so you will have the grid lines. Alright, so you will have the grid lines, and you will have the walls, then you will have the columns, then you will have the beams. Alright, then you will have the windows, doors and windows. So all of this you can specify under various layers. Alright, so if you want, you can, toggle the layer on or off. Alright, so today we will start with a simple um, example of how to use the layer command and what exactly is a layer. So first of all, again we start with the limits. So we will, we are going to draw a simple drawing. So we are going to use the limits command again. So limits space. So as soon as I press the space, it will take this as the lower left corner. Alright. So if I want to start from somewhere to somewhere, you can give this one. So suppose I want to start from 20, 20, you can give the 20, 20. So lower left corner will remain as 0, 0 space. Then the other command, other corner we will use is 180, 135. Right. Then zoom all. Zoom all. Okay. So limits. So limits the corners you have to specify based on your drawing. So in our case we are using that because it is sufficient enough for the drawing that we are going to do. And then zoom all. Okay. So what, first of all, what we are going to use is the line type scale. Okay, line type scale. What it does is, so just now we saw what does it do. So the in the dashed line that we made. So in the dashed line. So here, if I go to the properties. So properties, if I go here, so here I have the line type scale, right? So if I change the line type scale, so you can see what happened. All right, so if I change here again 0.25. All right, so here if I change, so you can see it is very narrow. All right, the dashes are very, it is very small and narrow. All right, so if I change it to 1, so that is what it is in the actual, in its normal configuration, all right, in its normal configuration. So that is what the line type scale does. So to toggle that, we have a command that is lt scale, all right. So here you see in the command lt scale, okay. So lt scale, so space, so enter a new value for lt scale. So enter here, so here it is by default 1, okay. So enter 15, all right, space. So now what we are going to do is we are going to define a new layer, all right. So to define a new layer, so layer, all right, layer. So this will appear, okay. Or the another thing that we can do is, so we can use the command directly, all right. So here you see, so if I press the layer command, if I use the layer command layer, so the layer window comes, all right. So here you have to specify new item. So this new command comes, all right. So then you have to give a name. So in this case, suppose we give trial line, all right. So trial line is the layer name, all right. So that is the layer name means. So in your case, suppose you want to define the walls with this line, all right. So you will give this layer name as walls. So if you want to define it as a column, so you will use the column layer. So in that way you can, when you are drawing, you can layer your drawing in various layers, all right. So beams one layer, walls one layer, grids one layer, so like that. So here, so suppose we are just trying out, so trial layer, all right. Sorry. So trial layer, then you can change the color, so whatever color you want. So I will want maybe pink, all right. So is this pink? Anyway, whatever it is. So that is the color code here, okay. So that is okay. So magenta, okay, magenta is the color. So is this window appearing in all of your AutoCAD?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So then whatever you want line type, all right. So if you want a new line type, then you have to load it. So from load, you want whatever you want to load. Uh, I will want maybe the dash dot. Where is the dash dot? So dash dotted lines, it is showing so small. It's very difficult to make out. Okay, so this is dash dotted line 0.5 mm. So that is the dash dotted. So this is double dash dotted. All right. So uh, so let us use this dotted line, or so dash dotted line. Okay. Okay. So that will come here. So okay. So here you see it is changed. Line type it is changed. Okay. So line type it is changed. Then you can toggle it on and off. All right. Then you can lock it. If you do not want changes to be made accidentally to that layer, so you can lock that layer, all right. So line weight you can change. So line weight, various line weights you can change. So so that is also one option. So I will cancel, I will let it remain default. So then you can also change the transparency. Alright, so 0 means it is totally opaque. Alright, totally opaque means you cannot see through it. If it is 100% means it is not visible, it is actually. Alright, you will just see a slight indication that there is a line. Then material you can change, it is obviously it is global. If you want to give certain material, then you can uh, define that. And of course print options, we are going to come to that later on. So that this is a layer thing. Okay, so this is layer trial layer 1. So suppose another one we want, so another one we can define. So see, this is trial layer 2. Okay, similarly here if I want to give a red color, right, so okay, so red. All right, so it is 10 here, so I will give the standard color 1. Okay, red. All right, then let it remain, so dashed maybe. Okay, so dashed, then on and off. So if I switch it off, it will not appear, so it is on. All right, and likewise. So here we can close this. So if you now go to the layer, by layer, sorry, yeah, here, sorry. All right, so here you can see trial layer and trial layer 2. So this is the layer window. So now suppose I will draw a line, so I will choose the trial layer 2. All right, so I will draw a line, L-I-N-E, line. So I will start from maybe 20, 20 to certain distance. Okay, so here you see it is line. So if I turn off, yes, so it is off, but it is, the line is there. Okay, the line is there, so you just go there and turn it on and it will be on. Okay, so that is one of, very what to say, advantageous use of layer. So we will also use the command prompts to define the layer. So how to define the layer, we will use the command prompt also. So in the command we will use, so if I type in layer and space, the layer this window will again pop up. All right, so what we are going to use is minus layer. So when I press the minus, then that means I will use the command prompt. I will not use the window, layer window. I will use the command prompt. So space. So here you see, so layer, new, make, set, color, line type, line weight, material, print, on, off, freeze. Everything is, options are here in the command prompt, here itself. So we will define new, N-E-W. Name for new layers. Alright, name for new layers. So the name for new layers, we will define it as, suppose grid lines. Okay, so we will define it as grid lines. Grid lines. Space. Sorry, enter. Alright, so in this case you have to press enter, because space, because it is entering text, no? So it is not a value, so you have to enter. Press the enter key. Grid lines, if you go on pressing space, it will go on giving space. So you have to press the enter key. So current layer is trial 2. Alright. So it is taking the layer, I mean layer options from the this layer 2, trial layer 2. Alright, so that is the current layer. So what I will do is, so here first of all I will set the color. Alright, so COLOR, so that is the color, or you can press just C space. Alright, so new color, true color or color book. Alright, so it is showing red. So the problem here is that you have to know the color codes. Alright, so the color codes you have to know. Red was one, we just now learned. Then magenta was how much? I forgot. Anyway, so since we do not remember the color codes, so we will use the color book CO. Alright. Okay, this enter, so escape. Okay. So color COLOR. Alright, so um, we will keep red for the time being. Okay, so it has red. Okay. So it is layers to be red. So trial 2 is already there. So trial 2 is already there. Then we have to enter our name. So grid lines, that is. So grid lines we have to enter. Right. So grid lines. Control C and Control V. Alright. Enter. Then we have to choose the line type. Alright. What is the line type? So L type we have to choose the line type. So grid lines we have already, I mean, here as soon as I give the color, so it asked me which layers apart from the trial layer 2. So trial layer 2 is already layer red. Well, apart from that, which other layers I want it to be red. So I have given grid lines. Okay. So then we have to give the L type. Okay, so continuous, it is continuous. So instead of continuous we will use dash dot. Enter. So again it is asking me layers for line type dash dot trial layer 2. Instead of trial layer 2 I will use grid lines. Okay, enter. Uh, so here we have already entered an option. Alright, so it is done. Alright, so here let us check whether the grid line is done or not. Yeah, so the grid line is made. Alright, so let us check what are the properties we have given here. So again LAYER space. So here grid lines we have made. So red dash dot. Alright, and whatever options we have given it is taking. Alright, so like that we can define the layers. So now what we will do, we will use, so let us so we will again give one new layer. So one new layer. So new layer. This is maybe trial layer 1, trial layer 3. Okay. So it will remain white. and it will remain continuous. Okay, and everything it will remain just as it is, as all the default. All right, and let us use this one. Okay, so this layer is on now. So trial layer 3 is now in use. So we will close this. Okay, so what we will do, we are going to draw this drawing, same drawing, and we are going to use different layers. Okay, so I will delete this first. So if you remember, what are the commands that we made? So first of all, circle. Okay, so circle space, we have to define the center. So center is, suppose we will define it as 100 comma 100. Okay, and the diameter or the radius, we are going to define it as, suppose, 50. All right, so that is the circle. It is too small, so what we are going to do is, so again circle. Oh, I think the diameter is in use. All right, I think the yeah, radius, it is asking me the radius. Okay, it is 100, so we will define 100. Okay, 100 radius. So again we will draw one circle. So here, suppose, so this is 50 and we are going to use 75. Okay, and we are going to draw a line here. So line, center line. So from here, so then I will toggle on the ortho mode. All right, F8. So F8 I will toggle on. Right. So as soon as I toggle on the F8, so you can see it is so in this direction. So I will, suppose I want to draw 125. Okay, so done. So again I will draw a line, line. So from here, so in this direction 125. Okay, done. So again line. All right, so here, so in this direction 125. Done. Again line from this direction 125. Done. All right, so what we are going to do is, first of all we are going to now, so select this. All right, and you change the layer. All right, so this is trial layer 3, sorry, this is trial layer 2. Okay, default is trial layer 3. Okay, so what we can do is, so here we will go to trial layer 2. So layer, again layer, or LT scale. All right, LT scale. So LT scale 15 is way too high. All right, so we will change it to, suppose, 1 space, and you can see it is showing this one, or dotted line. Or we can change it to LT scale 2 if I use value. Yeah, so that is the LT scale 2, right? So I will then, here this is now trial layer 2. So this here I will change it to trial layer, the first one. All right, so again it's 2 only. So first of all let us go to properties and see What is the line type scale? So it is 1 here. So if I change it to 0.5, right, no, it is way too big again, 0.25 or maybe 0.15, right? So this way you can change the scale. So it is looking good. Okay, so it is looking good. And then let this one remain like that only. Okay, and this lines, what we are going to do is we are going to change it to the grid lines. Alright, so it is the grid lines, or we can change the color of the grid lines. So LAYER, so layer, so this pops up. So grid lines, it is red, so we will change it to maybe blue color. Alright, this blue color. Okay, okay, it is cyan. Okay, okay. Alright, so this is it is what it is looking like. Alright, so now what we are going to do is we are going to again draw the ellipse. Alright, so ellipse, ELLIPS, ellipse. So first end of ellipse, so arc center, we will define center C space. Alright, so we have to define the center of ellipse. You go to this point here. Alright, you click it. Then it is asking me end point of axis. So this point, we will go in this direction. Alright, ortho mode on. Ortho mode has to be on, and then we will define it as before only. So the before one we defined, uh, suppose we are going to make a longer kind of ellipse, so let us define 7. Alright, so 7, sorry, so let us make one little bit longer one, ellipse, escape. Okay, escape, ELLIP, ellipse, again center point here. So maybe 10. Okay, and then we have to define it the other axis. Alright, so that we will use suppose 4. So it is way too small. Okay, way too small. So we will use a bigger ellipse. Alright, so ellipse. So first of all, center. Alright, space. So this is the center. So let us define it as 15. Okay, and let us define the short axis as 5. Alright, so this, yeah, this is okay, looking good. Alright, so that is one ellipse there. So now we have to define the array command. Alright, so ellipse we have drawn. So array, 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 space. So this will pop up. So again, rectangular if it is, so we have seen, so this is the rectangular one. So this is the polar one. Alright, so 12 in this manner. Alright, so let us reduce it. Let us, if I consider 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I reduce it to 8, alright, so it will look like this. Okay. Then I have to select the center point. So center point is selected. So center point is selected. This one is the center point. Then I have to select the entity. So this is the entity. Alright. Then space. Alright, then okay. And here is the array. Okay. So now if I want to suppose toggle off this layer, so if I toggle off this grid, so here you go, turn off a layer, on a layer or off. So you see that bulb, light bulb. Alright, so if I click it, it is off. So I will click these two layers also off. So trial layer off, trial layer 2 off. So off. Off means it does not mean that it is not there. It is there, but we have switched it off. Alright, so if I switch it, trial layer 3 also off, so everything will go. Yes. Alright, so again you turn it on. So let us turn the grid lines on. The grid lines will be there. So let us turn on the trial layer 2, it is there. Let us turn on the trial layer, it is there. Alright, trial layer 3, again it is there. Okay, so this layer concepts, it is also applied in GIS also, Geographic Information System. So there also this layer concept is applied. Alright. Uh, Another command which is of importance is the chamfer command. Alright, so chamfer command we will try out today itself because we have still time left. So we will try out. Yes or yes or no? We will try out. No, sir.
Yes, yes, we can try.
Yeah. So this I am going to save. Alright, so again we will start from limits, 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 space, and 120 comma 90 space, sorry, escape. Okay, so what the chamfer command does is, it is almost like a fillet. Alright, so we do a fillet, but thing is that it is it is like a what to say, like a linear kind of fillet, right? Not that circular fillet that we use, right? So and suppose the edges of the chamfer, whatever you want to do. So suppose the edges are, we will try that out. We will, as we will try out, you will see that. All right. So first of all, we try. I mean, start with drawing the lines that we need to do the chamfer on. So line, line, line. All right. So So from there we have to do, you toggle on the F8. Alright, so you toggle on the ortho mode F8. Right, so if I toggle off the ortho mode, you can see it is rotating. So F8. Right, so it is going horizontal and vertical. So in this direction 20. Alright, so then in this direction 10, or we can use 20. Okay, so 20 in this direction as well, then again 20 in this direction. Alright, then again 20 in this direction, and then 20 in this direction. Okay, so escape. Alright, so we have drawn this. So what we are going to do is we are going to first let us make a copy of this. Right, Control C, Control V. So we are going to first what we are going to do is we are going to do the fillet. Right, so fillet is easy. We have already done FFILET fillet. Sorry, fillet. Right, so we have to select the radius R. Right, sorry, okay, fillet radius, we have to select the fillet radius. Suppose, so since this is 20 and this is also 20, so suppose we select the fillet radius as 5. All right, so we say select 5. All right, so if I click on this one, so this is the fillet. Right, so again I can do the fillet here, just here. So again here also I can, so select fillet, done, select and done. Okay, so this is what fillet does. So a nice curve, beautiful curve, right? Now in certain cases, so we need linear kind of fillet, right? So it is not like this curved one. So in that case we will use the chamfer command. So CHAMF here. So here it is already there, chamfer. All right, so what we are going to do is we are going to use the distance option. Okay, so we are going to use the distance option. So we are going to define what is the distance required. All right, so let us now D, enter D space. So here you see enter chamfer distance for the base surface. All right, so which one is the base and which one is the perpendicular, we have to check. All right, I have to check anyway. So enter chamfer distance for the base. So let us consider that it considers this as the base. All right, so this is the base. So in that position, so from here how many units you have to cut, trim in this direction. All right, that you have to define. So let us define it as maybe 5. Okay, space. Then enter chamfer distance for the adjacent surface also. So this surface, that is. Okay, so let us, for this case, let us remain it as 5. So we will see. So now you see it is showing me select first entity. Okay, so here I will select first entity and then second entity, and you can see what is the difference, fillet and chamfer. Alright, now let us uh, use the different distances of the chamfer. Alright, so again SHAMFER space. Alright, so distance, again option D, space. So it is already taking 5, so let us take 6 space, and let us take on the other end, let us take maybe 8, alright, space, and let us see what happens. So I will select this unit and this unit. So you can see, so in the base surface, that means the first one that you select, that is the base, and the other one next that you select, that is the adjacent. So in the adjacent surface it cut off 8 units from this point, and in the adjacent surface, and in the base surface it cut off 6 units. Alright, so now let us control Z. Alright, ah so again we will try SHAMFER, chamfer, then distance D. Alright, so let us enter, as in the previous case we will enter 6 space and 8 space. Right, so here we will select this unit and this unit. So you can see this is 8 and this is 6. So if I again do the chamfer, now suppose I want 8 units in this one, so you have to select that after this one. So this is the first entity and this will be the second one. So in the first entity it will cut off 6, and in the adjacent entity it will cut off 8. So this one and this one. So you can see we can do the chamfer in that way. Alright, and if you do a chamfer, so suppose distance, so we will specify 5 5. Alright, so here you see it is same 5 5. Okay, so that is what it does. Okay, I think hexagon, polygon you have already drawn. Alright, so those things you have already drawn.